Hey, Happy New Year, everybody. Hope you have been doing well. 2021 is treating you well. And Culture Shock Podcast is back. We are back in the new year. As always, we're helping people use their faith to make a difference and an impact, shock the culture, make a difference. Before we continue, I want you to go ahead and subscribe, smash the like button, drop a comment. It doesn't cost you anything. Also, just make sure that more people can see this content and they will be blessed. All right, so today we have an amazing show lined up for you. I've got a brother who I appreciate very dearly. And I've watched him grow from being, a hustler, pusher, you know what I mean? Sold everything, from our youth groups. He was reminding me that of the other day. Just for you guys to understand, this is the third time we're trying to film this. This is the third time we're trying to film this, but I know it's going to be awesome. Today we have the founder and the visionary of Bear With Me Apparel, my boy Chimwasu, a.k.a. Chucks. Chucks, say what's up to the people, man.
Yeah. What's up? It's an amazing feeling to be here finally. After trying for so many times. Yeah, it's good to finally be here.
Right. Chucks, tell the people what you do and how you describe yourself.
Okay, so first of all, I'm a husband to one wife. Beautiful wife. Shout out to my wife. I'm founder and owner of the brand Bear With Me. I'm a partner at a digital marketing company called Orego Digital, as well as a head of sales and marketing at Garnet Hotels. So in a nutshell, that's me.
All right. I want to talk more about your brand a bit later on, but you really started out from, as a young guy pushing merch. Tell me how you stumbled across merch and also how did you realize, okay, I'm actually good at like selling stuff,
Okay, I first of all, I never knew I had it in me. It took someone else to see that in me. It was about 11 years ago when I've always been a fan of retunes. And whenever retunes would share or post new music, I would always share links. Back then, I think we had like Blackberries, I would share like on the BBMs, on Twitter, on Facebook, and I would be very consistent like every day. So Stephen Mwale, shout out to Stephen, noticed that I was very consistent and, indirectly driving traffic to the site without knowing. And he realized I could be very instrumental in the growth of retunes, and he called me up. So when he called me, we had a chat on how best we can work together and just make things happen. So he gave me the task of handling the sales part of retunes, of selling merchandise. I never knew anything about selling, but he still insisted that, maybe this guy could be it. So
Right.
he took, I could say he took a leap of faith towards giving me that task. And I did my best. And funny enough, I enjoyed it, and it's something that's stuck with me for a very long time. And I really appreciate Stephen for seeing that potential in me. And that's when I realized that I could actually sell anything.
Right.
Yeah. So ever since that, I've always been that sales guy.
Yeah. For real, and you've always been selling stuff. Tell me what were some of the lessons you've talked about, Steve, and I want to jump right into, having like things like mentorship. What are some of the lessons you learned sitting under a guy like Steven? I mean, Steven is a brilliant mind. Shout out to Steve Mwale.
Yeah.
Steve has done so many
Yeah.
things. You think like he's 55 years old, but Steve has, I'm telling you, man, I've never met a guy who's
Yeah.
tried and done so many things. What are some of the
Yeah.
lessons you experienced sitting under somebody? Because I know there are some people who just want to go straight out into their own business, do their own thing,
Yeah.
hustle on their own,
Yeah.
and sometimes they miss the lessons of sitting under somebody and learning from somebody.
Yeah.
What are some of the lessons you
Yeah.
picked up from sitting under Steve?
Okay. One of the key things Stephen kept on emphasizing: never settle for less, always grow, always reinvent yourself, and we never be moved by hype. Majority of brands that I have noticed in like the time I've been in the industry, most of them will come, go, come, go. It's because they always run on the fuel of hype, and hype easily dies out. And yeah, so I've struggled,
Right.
but because of the people I have around me, I always try my best to not settle for where I am. I always try and push beyond the current situation.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
So,
So I would say like a bit of what I've learned is always be better than you were yesterday.
always be better than you were yesterday. Always progress. Always try to do better,
Yeah.
a little bit better and better.
Yeah.
Strive for excellence. Excellent
Definitely.
idea. Speaking of doing better, let's talk about your Bear With Me apparel. We're gonna go into, first of all, tell us how you got into Bear With Me, right? Why Bear With Me,
Yeah.
right? And
Okay.
also tell us how you've been building this brand for some time. Like how have you been developing it?
Okay. So the concept of Bear With Me was just an idea I had initially. The bear was supposed to be a grizzly bear. That's the funny enough. That was the vision I had. It was supposed to be a grizzly bear.
And then it became
But
the
then
cute bear.
imagine. But then when I pitched it to Steven, he liked the idea. But then he was like, "No, you could do better than this." So I was like, "Okay. So what do I do?" So I approached Emmanuel, founder and CEO of Impressions. A lot of people think Impressions is mine, but yeah, no, it's his. But yeah, so yeah, so I approached him with the idea, and then one thing that he told me that stuck with me is never limit your reach. So by me thinking of the grizzly bear, I was basically cutting out certain people, like the old, because it's too youngish.
Right.
So so I gave him the idea. He came up with some design, and I liked the little cute one because that one is more appealing to everyone. It's not limited to just the young or the old. It's everybody. Everybody in the spectrum is included. Yeah. Okay. So the concept, or rather the mission statement behind Bear With Me is in today's life we notice that looking at the level you're at, being as a human being, being financially, being spiritually or physically, we always have people who look down on you and try to tell you that you don't fit in, or try to give you that sense of insecurity that you are not worthy to be part of whatever is happening. So Bear With Me is basically a statement that says, regardless of what you say or what you may speak of me, you have no say in my life. Only God has the final say, and He is the judge and jury of how my life goes and how it progresses and where I end up. So basically, bear with that fact that no matter what you say, it's got no effect on me. I will still get to where I am supposed to go because God has intended for that to happen.
Nice.
Yeah.
And with such an awesome, powerful, vision and idea, I've seen you take this brand like bit by
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah.
And I say this respectfully, you haven't really changed a lot of the brand, right?
Yeah.
Right. What do you? Because you've talked about this before. You talked about that you don't always have to do a new thing, right?
No. No.
Explain how that has affected your idea and your philosophy behind your brand?
Okay, so the reason why I haven't changed is because I have my vision is bigger and beyond what everyone sees it to be. I want to be the next Nike. I want to be the next Adidas. If you've noticed their logos or how they bring up their apparel, they are very simple and they do not change much.
Mm.
So, like for me, I don't want to be that person who's driven by hype just because my hype has died down. I should move on to the next thing. I need to fully exhaust the idea of
Mm.
that I first released.
Right,
So
right, right.
majority of brands usually do that. They run on hype fuel, and then once the hype dies down, they feel like, okay, no, the first idea is not really working. I need to move to the next lit thing,
Mm.
which is yeah. So which is not my vision. I want to fully explore Bear With Me to its full potential.
Right.
What you've seen now is just a tip of the iceberg of what really want to do. The only challenge I can say I faced is supply of material, supply of apparel is very limited.
Mm.
Even when you try to get from outside the country, the exchange rate is just insane that it limits your capacity to get whatever you want to get.
Right,
So that's yeah. So I really want to explore Bear With Me to its fullest, and
right.
I don't want to change. Yeah, I don't want to change it. I want it to stick for the rest of I don't know, like next 30 years. People
Mm.
should still, yeah,
Mm. Let's talk about relationships and business relationships.
yeah,
Do you do everything yourself? You mentioned EMR there,
yeah,
Emmanuel. Um,
yeah.
do you do everything yourself? Because there's some people who be like, nobody will design for me. I gotta do everything myself. Help somebody who's like, you know what? I've got this idea, but how do I get people to help me to bring this vision to
Yeah.
pass?
Uh, One thing Stephen has always told me is I'm a people person, which
Mm.
has always worked to my advantage. Uh, I am not doing everything on my own, besides
Mm.
the marketing and the selling, but the design was I pitched first the idea to someone who believed in it, and
Mm.
then I took that idea, pitched it to a graphic designer who loved the idea as well, and then brought it to life. And I actually didn't like the design. If I funny story, I actually didn't like the design in the beginning,
Right.
but then uh, Emmanuel consistently told me to look at the bigger picture because
Mm.
I was stuck on the grizzly bear. I really
Right.
wanted the grizzly bear, but then
Right.
people would just be like, okay, it'll be hard to translate what you're trying to do with the grizzly bear because first of all, grizzly bear is very aggressive.
Mm.
But then the new design that he thought of is something that's appealing to everyone.
Right. Right.
So yeah, so I'm not doing it. I didn't do it on my own. It's been through relationships that I've created over the years, and every customer or client I interact with or transact with becomes my family instantly, and they they kind of like buy into the vision
Mm.
and share it with the next person, and it goes on just like that. And that's been one of the most amazing things that's happened to the brand. That everyone who buys into it loves and falls in love with the vision and the idea, and shares it with the next person, and it goes on just like that. So
Right.
if people would think no, he had a big budget to start his brand, believe you me, I started Bear With Me with two shirts.
Hey, that's a Forbes statement right there. How he started the business with two shits.
No, but it's true. I can even bring the person who first bought the two shirts. It
How long
was
now?
it was in 2018.
Right,
I think it was Dario's book launch.
right.
So I had the design ready, but I had no money to print.
Mm.
Yeah, because everything else was done for free. The design, the concept, and all that was done for free. But then I had no money to start print. So I was like, okay, so
Wow.
how do I make this thing happen if I've got no money? So I pitched uh, the idea to one of our good friends, Muiche. Shout
Mm.
out to Muiche. Uh, she was like, okay, I actually love this design. Make the first two. So she gave me a 150. I made the first two shirts. I made hers and I made mine. And then we wore them at Dario's book launch. And from there, people loved it.
Wow.
People just were like, oh, snap, this looks cool. This looks cool. So we took,
Mm.
I think I even still have the picture I took of her. And
Wow.
actually, it was the wrong design. We printed the wrong design. We printed the wrong design, but people didn't know. Only I knew, and the designer Emmanuel knew that it was a wrong design. But
Wow.
I still went with it. I still pushed it like no man's business, and people loved it. Just from there, people started sending in money in advance, and
Yeah.
I started just to build from there. And one of the key things that Stephen also used to share with me is your first clientele is your people in your home.
Mm.
And people in your contact list are
Right.
also your first potential clients.
Mm.
So I made sure that I used the cheapest and the most affordable ways of marketing to my advantage, be it WhatsApp, be it
Mm.
Instagram, back then, be it the BBMs,
Mm.
Twitter. So I made sure that every day I am consistent in being in people's faces.
Right.
And I was even given the name the backpack guy because I will always move around with a backpack with merch in it, and I am always selling something. So
Right.
like shout out to you as well for giving us the opportunity and the chance
Yes.
to just share our products whenever we're at the garage and
Mm.
people were enjoying God's presence. I will be at the back with like a table and my backpack with stuff.
Always. Mm.
Always,
Every.
every
You know what?
Sunday.
Hold on. Hold on. Hold on.
Yeah,
Every concert that I went
yeah,
to, you were selling something.
yeah. I was there.
Eh, I don't remember not seeing you anywhere not selling merch. And shout out to you for that. And I don't want to lose you there. Just there.
Yeah, yeah,
Talk about consistency. This is not something that you're telling me that you started the other day. We're talking
yeah,
right now. We're talking about 9 years back, right?
yeah, 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 yeah,
9 years back that I found you selling stuff. And
yeah,
what
yeah.
has kept you going this whole time?
What has kept me going is, first of all, I'm not rich yet.
Mm.
I do not have a $1 million in my account. I don't have the discovery from my wife's discovery is not here yet.
Come on here.
So it's that hunger that keeps me going. That hunger that I first had when I came up with the idea is
Mm.
what keeps on driving me to push every day. Say, hey, you still haven't made the money you need to make out of this, so you need to push. You need to be consistent. You you can't stop what you started
Right.
because
Right.
you've sparked something that
Mm.
is probably inspiring someone out there.
Mm.
So just because you've acquired a little bit of some fame, you can't be comfortable. You need to push the limit. You need to go beyond. You can't settle for less because the fame won't pay for your bills.
Right. Right.
So yeah, yeah. So that's what kept me going. I am still hungry and I still want this thing to work. And and people may think because of the little fame I've acquired, like for the brand, it's reached its limit, or I can't go beyond. Believe you me, I am yet to push some more and just make things happen.
Yeah. Right. 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 So I want to talk to you about your T-shirts, and
Yeah,
I once read a joke like one guy
yeah,
wrote, and because everyone in Z, like, they just think that as soon as I've got something, T-shirts, I'm selling T-shirts, and the T-shirts must can be anything. It can
yeah,
be my album name, blah blah blah, and I
yeah,
believe I
yeah,
believe in merch. I get that part, right?
yeah.
But for you, I've always noticed that you're not lazy with your designs. You're not lazy with your quality. And what what is your idea and philosophy behind your quality and brand? What do you want them to experience? Because I see some people sell me just any T-shirt and they want X amount.
Mm, mm,
You know,
mm.
but how are you adding value in what you're producing?
Okay. So my philosophy behind every merch I put out is the story behind it.
Mm,
So people don't buy the product; they
mm,
buy the story, they buy the journey, they buy
mm,
the concept, the
mm,
big idea, the big picture.
mm,
So even when I'm selling apparel to you, I'm not selling you merchandise. I'm selling
mm,
you a vision.
mm,
So the quality I add to my vision is not to the really to the apparel. I may add a few quality additions to the apparel, like the way I package it,
mm,
uh, if there's tags, pictures by doing collaborations with artists, with graphic designers, with cinematographers. Those are the, I can say, sub additions, but the initial uh, story or the journey behind it is the main agenda. That,
mm.
yeah, yeah,
Okay, and you're always marketing your stuff. Help
yeah.
somebody out who may say, "I don't have a budget. I don't have a budget to market. How do I get my stuff out there? How do I sell? How do I reach my products? How have you
in this
utilized it?"
yeah, in this day and age, we have the cheapest tools ever. Everyone's online.
Right.
Believe you me, there's someone out there who's online and is looking at you for the next best thing.
Mm.
So, like for me, I've used what I have to my advantage. It's
Right.
not like I came up with like a big budget. Let's say, no, I'll put up a billboard, I'll put up an ad on TV.
Right.
Um, I've used what I have. I've used my WhatsApp, my status. I make sure my status is flooded.
Mm.
And if
Every
you are
day.
one of my if you're one of my contacts, you even
Mm.
see that the my dots disappear and
Pa, pa,
become
pa, pa,
one
pa, pa.
line. Yeah, they become one line. It's because of that, and I always want to push every day. So I use my WhatsApp, I use my Facebook, I use my personal Instagram, I use the brand's Instagram, um, word of mouth, and I always say you are a walking billboard. So I make sure whenever I am out there, I am wearing my brand, and it gets people curious as to why you are always wearing that, and they will be curious enough to approach you and ask you, okay, I've been seeing this a lot.
Mm.
Tell me about it. And that's when you explain what it is and where they can get. But it's those basic tools that I've used over the years and that have helped me. And now I have added an extra and wonderful way of marketing. My wife is my personal model now. I don't pay
Yeah,
her,
and
but it pays the
I
bills.
saw some pictures like that. That was really awesome. I saw that. You guys, that was fire, man. You know what I mean, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I saw some pictures you posted, and you just did them in your house and stuff like that.
yeah,
I'm like, that's awesome, man. I think the general misconception with many people is that the bigger the
yeah.
budget, the more you're gonna sell.
The more
Uh,
you sell, yeah, yeah,
right? The more I have, the more I can market, or the more.
yeah.
And you just said it that you started a business, with two shirts,
One,
right?
yeah, two shirts.
One customer, and here it is today, right?
Yeah,
Here it is today. All right, so I'm gonna ask you a few quick questions to round it up, right?
no, no problem.
Who inspires you? Just drop
Who
quickly,
inspired? My wife,
right?
Stephen Wale,
Right.
And my friends, yeah.
Right. Cool. Um, what is your motto like for business? Like what's your key phrase motto like your for your own personal motto, right?
Okay. Okay, so I'd say number one, never settle for less. Always strive to excel and be better than you were yesterday. Uh, Always learn. Never stop learning. Even when you know something, never stop learning. And use what you have. Use what you have to your advantage.
All right, cool. One more question. What's your
Yeah.
best failure?
Woo! My best failure, I can say, is oof. Okay, okay, that one's a big question.
Right.
Yeah. I
Or
can
let
say
me
not
rephrase it.
believing, not. Yeah, I think try and rephrase it.
Let me rephrase it. What's the
Yeah.
best lesson you learned from failing?
Aha. Okay. No, that's better. That's better. Okay. So the lesson I've learned is when you fall, you have no choice but to get up. The only direction you have when you fall is up.
Fire. Chucks, tell people where they can find your apparel. Drop your handles. Drop all your information. Let's go.
Okay, so you can find my merchandise on Facebook. It's Bear With Me Apparel, and then on Instagram, it's Bear With Me underscore Apparel, and as well as the LinkedIn. You can find it as well. It's Bear With Me Apparel. Yeah, and my number is, or rather the customer care number. I can say that customer care customer care number is 0978 144791. 1978 144791.
Hey, and tell the people right now how you're gonna give me free merch before I
I
forget.
am I am definitely sending some new merch for you. Yeah, you need some new swag, and I got you.
You know me, but I'm
I
shout
got you.
out. I support you. Another
Yeah,
person who I love dearly is Carmelo Noble.
yeah,
Noble
yeah.
Society.
Come,
Distinct, my boy.
amazing person.
And,
Yeah,
and it's great to see you and Mello really growing up and doing this
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
So I
And funny
support
thing,
you
we
guys,
used to work together.
right?
We're both at Retunes. So like
Right.
everything we've learned is basically from being under Steven.
So how the
So
heck?
he's
Why does Steven has no style? How come? What's going on, man?
no, yeah, they say when you teach, the students become the masters. So you now take a back seat.
Yeah. Chucks, thank you so much. Appreciate it
You're
so
most
much.
welcome.
Look
Yeah,
forward to seeing more from you, and look forward to seeing you.
definitely.
Thanks everybody for watching and being a part of this podcast. Remember, once again, you can
Yeah,
subscribe, you can tune in, like, share, and let's get walking. Let's get growing. Let's shock the culture. See you
yeah.
next time.